Hey, it's Maria from Steel Dreaming Homestead, and it's super cold here. So last night it got down to about 17 degrees. Now I know in some areas it's cold, that it would be cold but not outstanding, but I'm in Southern Oregon and that's very cold here. So had to do a lot of different preparations for the cold weather. Now, one of the things we needed to do was to clean our stovepipe out from the creosote that builds up as the smoke cools in that pipe. So Patina got up on the roof with the stove brush, or pipe brush, whatever you call that. And I wish I'd had it in here, but I don't. Sorry. And so it's on a very long pole because it has to go through the pipe, which is above the roof quite a little ways because we get a downdraft and we don't want smoke to get in our house. And then it has to go all the way through the upper floor and then all the way down into the stove on the main floor. So it's a long distance. So she did that. Got out a lot of creosote, and then I got a shortened brush that Jason had put together, and I got my head inside of that wood stove, and I'll show it to you right there. Let's see. That's our wood stove. It generally looks like that. And I reached up from inside up to the bottom part of the pipes, and as well as I could, which wasn't great. And I decided that I wanted part of that replaced. I'm going to show you the part that was concerning me. So this is a collar that slips over it goes like this, slips into the opening of the stove to put the on. And if you look here, you can see this is worn out. We've had it for a lot of years, and that black that's in there is a little bit of creosote after I had scrubbed it out. So we needed a new one of those. I don't really like going to get parts that I'm not very sure with, even though Jason's very careful to explain what it is that I need. And even though I took in that part and he had told me it's not stovepipe bomb, it's a little bit bigger than the stovepipe. And so I went to the local lumber and hardware place, and the young man that was there, he was very young, he wasn't sure. We saw this part here, I'll show you. Saw this. But what this is stovepipe. And I told him it's not supposed to be stovepipe. And he says, well, let me go talk to somebody else who knows more, which he did. The man assured me that what I had was stovepipe, but it would need to be cut to size, which is something they typically do, but he didn't offer to do it, and probably crimped again, which he also did not offer. So I asked about that, and he said, yeah, they could do it, and he goes, oh no, we can't. We sold the crimper yesterday. So I brought it home. And when I got it here, not the right part at all, but I had made one more stop. And that stop, let me see, I'm going to take these stovepipes off. I'll bring this a little closer. So I went to a secondhand store and I found this right here. And I recognized it as some sort of collar, and so I bought it. It was $6. And I thought, at least it's crimped on both sides. Jason was able to put the damper in it. I'll show you what a damper looks like. And I'll try to show you what a damper looks like. That's this thing right in here. It turns, and it will, when it's down, it's closing off most of the air. I'll take this off so you can see it better. It closes off most of the air, not 100%. And when it's open, there's lots of air that comes through. And when it's closed, you can see there's some little holes in here, and it's open around the edge. Just a little bit of airflow goes through there, and that's a way of controlling the temperature. Well, Jason was frustrated because even though he made sure to tell me that it wasn't stovepipe, that's what they gave me. So we do not have it put in yet. It's going to go right up here into, let me see if I can show you. How do I get there? There. That's in the ceiling. So I'm not 100% sure if we'll get it in tonight or not, which will be interesting because another cold night tonight. Again, supposed to be 17, 19 degrees, something like that. But we'll be okay as long as we don't, have any pipes break. But this is one of the problems that you run into if you are a woman or a man. It could be a man, but I think it's very notably with women. If you don't know exactly what you're looking for, I just kind of feel like you're taken advantage of sometime. They want to think that they know more than what you're telling them, and they do know more than what I'm telling them. But what I do know is if my son tells me something, that is almost always correct. In this case, again, it was correct. So it makes it harder, and that's a shame because even though I don't know how to put this stuff in myself, and I don't put this stuff in myself, I can drive my car. I can go and get a part if people would listen and not just kind of take the easy way. So anyhow, I just wanted to share one of the things that's frustrating for me as a woman that I wish wasn't the case. And unfortunately, it makes it frustrating for my son, who now has to cut and adapt everything to get that to work. But anyhow, we'll get it taken care of. And if not tonight, tomorrow. And if it's not done tonight, I've got an electric blanket. You better believe I'm going to be using it because it's going to get cold. So something else that I did tonight, because I really didn't realize that it was last night that was supposed to get so terribly cold. I went out to the greenhouse, and those containers that I showed you, I don't have any in here because I took them all outside, that I used to store food in, I put hot water in those. They hold about 2 gallons, maybe 2.5 gallons each, and I was able to take out 7 of them. So it's not an earth-shattering amount, but hopefully that will just be some thermal mass, and it will slowly as it begins to cool off during the night, release just a little bit of its heat into the greenhouse, because I'm very concerned about my citrus trees that are in an unheated greenhouse. Now, I have prepared them as I showed you before with that rigid plastic. Covered up my bed on both sides and the ends with that, and then over the top of it I have some very thin cloth. I'm trying to think what they call it, some sort of garden cloth to insulate, and I put that on 3 layers thick. I also went behind the plastic in the back of the bed and covered the front. So I did everything I could. And the last thing that I did last night, and one of the first things that I'm going to do tonight, is I'm going to pray that God will just protect the citrus trees and that they will survive. Maybe even my peppers will, but I'm not as concerned about the bell peppers as those trees. So I hope you're having a great evening, that you had a good day. I had a pretty good day. I was tired, but I did clean out the chicken house part way, and I shoveled some stuff into the compost bin, because we got to build it up again. And I did dump the wading pool. I think I told you that I had fallen into the full wading pool. And even though that probably softened the blow, I really don't want to fall in that again. And I just wanted it moved out of my way, away from the greenhouse. So that's what I did. So I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming.